within Hollywood. We'll see. It's a tough process to get your script sold is a really tough process. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
But then to get it greenlit, meaning it's going to go into production, the movie will get made.
Yeah.
That's another one in a step.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And to get it released in the theaters, because a lot of studios or companies will buy scripts.
Right.
They'll buy the script and they'll just throw it in the back, not make it, or they'll just develop it.
Yeah.
And nothing will happen to it for many, many years, and the story will the movie will just die. So it's a long process, and during that time, I'm just constantly working on stories and scripts in English. I was writing in English, but slowly there are other writing partners that I'm going to start working on Korean scripts with as well. So yeah, that's one of my. I just love, an easy way to put it is, I love movies. I love everything about movies. And besides the acting, I just want to do everything within the whole filmmaking process. Because that's just, it's just my biggest passion in my life, is movies. Yeah.
Okay. So, these scenarios, can you go through any of the scenarios? Or what kind of scenarios you worked on?
The one that I wrote, that I talked about, it's about a pop star. Actually, I first got inspiration to write it during college. It was one of my class assignments, and it was a little after Notting Hill, I think.
Okay.
And so instead of a Hollywood star and a normal guy, I wanted to make it a pop star. Like back then, it was Britney Spears. So I thought of Britney Spears, and since she's young, what about a college student? So that's where the whole idea came about for me. And it kind of transformed into this guy. He plagiarizes a song. He gets the song off the internet for some contest. It's a school singing contest. Who's going to be there to even care about what he did, right? It's for his best friend's younger sister. He writes her a song. And what happens is some music exec is there at the talent show. He likes the song. He wants to buy it. He has a lot of school debt. It's like, okay. He sells it without thinking about the consequences.
And it's somebody else's song?
It's a random obscure song that he found off the internet that he passes off as his own. He puts lyrics to it, gives it to his friend to sing, because she has aspirations of being a singer. And the record label buys the song and ends up using it for a rising pop star. And so he lied. And it's his conflict, and all of a sudden they're sprung into this. She starts taking an interest in him, and they start dating, and so now he's woven himself a terrible web of lies that he needs to figure out how to get out of.
So it sounds like a romantic comedy kind of a thing?
A teeny bopper dramedy, I guess. Teeny bopper.
Teeny bopper dramedy?
Dramedy is a word they use.
This is a new word for me.
A drama and a comedy mixed. Like a movie where it's dramatic, and it has comedic aspects. They just roughly call it dramedy.
Okay.
And teeny bopper is a movie where it's catered. the target audience is teenagers, young teenage girls and stuff. Right. Teeny bopper. A movie like what's that Lindsay Lohan film? Mean Girls is a teeny bopper film.
Right.
So it's kind
Films
of targeted
for young people,
younger audience,
teenage audiences.
Younger teenage audience. So that's kind of what this script is, the audience for the script.
Okay.
And then besides that, I wrote a draft of an unproduced draft of a film that's shooting right now that I shouldn't talk about that actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really wish they would have used my draft, but they didn't, so whatever.
Okay. So you wrote a draft, and then they took the story idea?
No, there was a main story. I wrote a draft of it, but they went in a different direction. And, they went in a different direction. It happens all the time.
So then it has nothing to do with your story now?
It has nothing to do with my story. Basically, because I took elements of a main idea anyway to begin with. So, yeah.
And so where are you aiming to go with your career now? In which direction? More the acting, more the writing, or both?
I think both.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where, there's a lot of, even if I were to be acting in a project or, like I talked about the stuff that I'm in talks with, right? There's going to be downtime. I have my laptop with me at all times.
Right.
My netbook.
Right.
So I will, I write. It's a good release for me.
Yeah.
It's what I love. Okay. And it's just something that, no matter what you're doing, you just got to keep doing it every day. If you want to learn to play the piano or be good at it, you got to play it at least 10 minutes or whatever a day.
Right.
So even as a writer, you got to keep writing. Just write. They call it a writing habit.
So if you wanted to put some recommendations down, now that you've done some work in both places, if you want to put some recommendations down for how they could improve Korean cinema and the Korean, what do you think that they could develop?
So at the industry?
Sure, in the industry. I've seen some. Let's face it, Korean movies have just advanced immensely in 10 years.
Yeah.
They've done an incredible job of growing and developing talent in the industry. I think it's really light years of what it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I first got here. But I'm sure there's still some things they could develop and improve on. Do you have any?
I think overall, not just aimed towards the Korean cinema, but just overall, I just wish movies would focus more on the characters and the story, developing the story and the character more, instead of just going by pure marketing. Although, it is a business, and you got to understand the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's about making money. So, at the end of the day, especially in the studios, it's all about making money.
Sure.
100%. You get fired if you're a studio exec, and that year the movies that your studio released didn't make whatever amount of money, you lose your job.
Right.
So that's why they make Spider-Man 4 or whatever instead of some other great character-driven, story-driven script.
Right.
So that being said, I just wish they would develop it a little more. There's a saying, measure twice, nail once. It's Carpenter's, right? But I think it could be applied to stories,
Yeah.
You spend a little more time tightening up the script.
Yeah.
That's another term, but anyway, making the script a little better. And when you shoot it, you'll have a better product to shoot.
Yeah.
So I think that could apply to wherever you go,
Yeah. Well, but that's, measure twice, cut once, I think. Measure twice, cut once, or measure twice, nail once. 두 번 재고,